Hello, hello, hello. Good morning and welcome everyone. My name is Kayla. I am the founder of the Beachbody Marketplace and it's Monday. So here we are, Motivation Monday, to share stories, to talk and to connect, to affirm our week, to take in the love, to give out love, and to have a space, a place, a platform, a site where we can gather and look forward to this new week. Mondays are typically daunting, but we don't want to promote that narrative. We want to change it and say that every day, no matter what day it is, can and will be great. So we're going to affirm that and together energize ourselves with a few breathing exercises, affirmation, and stories. So if you have any prayer requests, if you have any comments, suggestions, topics, or ideas, we are all ears here in the Beachbody Marketplace. And I love Motivation Mondays because sometimes I'm joined by guests, I'm joined by sisters, I'm joined by friends. And this morning I am joined by Naika, my sister, who has been with us on a few episodes. So it's always great to have her presence. So before we get started, I want to let you know a few things, updates in the Beachbody Marketplace. We have a new website. So if you have not already had a chance to check out the Beachbody Marketplace, please do so at beebodi.com. We also have here on Facebook our wellness community, Treat, Support, and Invigorate. There we share, it's an open platform and forum, articles, videos, if there is something upcoming that you would like to promote that's about wellness, health, inspiration, that is the space to do it. We have a new annex for moms, expectant mothers, pregnant mothers, or moms who are in postpartum stages, even birthing partners, companions, and people who want to learn more about the birthing process called Mommy Talk. So here on Facebook, we're also live on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to both channels. You can find that Mommy Talk and Treat, Support, and Invigorate to be a part of these communities. You are absolutely welcome, as well as practitioners. We want to expand it to you as well. And then, of course, Instagram. So the latest on Instagram is that there are pictures of myself in Aruba, or as they call it, Aruba. And that was a wellness weekend, a getaway to focus on relaxation. There's so many reasons why we travel, and I'll be sharing some of my stories when I bring Naika on the platform today. Um, and it's so important that we remember that travel can serve us as medicine. It certainly has served me as medicine, and it's something to consider. So I'm going to bring Naika on to share more with us.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, love? I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm going to adjust my lighting here, but make yourself comfortable, warm, and welcome as you do. We've had Naika on Motivation Mondays a few times, and so it's always a pleasure to see her. I love your ivory, your white that you're wearing. You
Thank
look
you.
nice.
It's just a skirt, and then with the like elastic band,
Hmm.
and then I took the drawstrings to make it a thing on my neck.
Oh, yes,
And
yes, 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 yes.
I feel like wearing this. It's very like flowy and easy, but I don't want to just wear it as a skirt. So I was like, "Who says I can't?" And so I just did it.
That's awesome. I just connected with a sister friend of mine yesterday who is teaching herself how to sew, and she made her very own dress. And I was so impressed by that. It's just that reinventing and redefining and exploring. I love it. So keep chatting with us, Naika. I'm just going to adjust my lighting because I have natural light here, but I want a little bit more.
Sure. It's actually interesting you talk about reinventing because this morning they came to me. Um, it was kind of hard for me to realize that on some levels I don't feel like I know myself. Like I feel like I stifle myself or I overthink. And after just crying a little bit, I realized, but wait a second, I'm unlearning so much that just everything I feel like that I've been afraid of is absolutely not true. And that I should do probably the opposite, or not should, but like invite myself to do the opposite of what I've been told to be ashamed of, to be afraid of, or that's too mysterious to delve into, or it's too much to know. And I realized, you know what though? I am creating my own world. I am doing it. I moved. I got out of a relationship that wasn't good for me anymore. I surrounded myself with so many plants I love to nourish and to be nourished. And um, I think now I feel more, it's raw, but it's more of a place of I get to create really from a more authentic place than I ever have before. And I'm still waking up. That's what I feel like. I still am waking up to myself, but it's like, but also to reality, like the truth, but it's like I get to be awake while creating my world. That's so much better than the alternative, than what it was. So it's like, it's okay. It's okay. So, but that's
So
what,
many,
yeah, you saying that made me think of.
so many gems there you just said. You get to be awake while in your awakening. It reminds me of something that this yogi had said. He said, participate in your light. When it comes to, before you can redefine a thing, you have to define it. And so many of us are doing that and finding the versions of definitions that reflect who we are, that resemble our being, that resonate with us, that feels real, that is real, and that's going to be different. And then once you have the information, it's taking it in and embodying it and living it, um, and recognizing it. So I love that you said that you didn't know yourself, but it also made me think that there's more of you to learn and more of you to love. But I remember having that very moment. Actually, I was sitting at the edge of my bed. This is probably 2 years ago, and I was just like, I don't recognize myself. I, I at the core, I am me, but so much change has occurred, so many events in my life, and I am in the midst of it too. Just taking a moment of pause to be present, I was like, who is this person? Like, who is she? So I get that.
Hmm.
And I'm happy for you that you shed tears and that you were cleansing. I encourage people all the time. So I was talking about travel as a form of medicine just before you came on. And as you know, I went to Aruba, never had been before, wasn't really a premeditated trip. It was a part of a 3-day weekend from the yoga studio that I teach at in Hyattsville, Maryland. At the end of every teacher training certification, they go on a getaway to celebrate, to affirm. And there we were. We ended up in Aruba, or Aruba, as the locals say. And in my teaching segment, because you are also supposed to share coming to the end of your journey and receiving your certificate, I encouraged one woman who was holding back. She said that she had a hard time connecting to herself. And I just said, just give yourself more permission and cry. We are emotional beings, human beings. Before we even get to women, we are emotional beings. And the more we reject and resist what comes so natural to our body's chemistry, we can't get through the process of transformation, because we're trying to hurry up and get through, but we're not in it. And so I was just like, invite that ugly cry, invite that, let it out. All to hear yourself, feel yourself, be in that, because it's so easy to look outward and say, I will never be that, or I don't like what I see, and don't allow yourself to experience you know? So, yes, yes to cleansing tears. Yes to that. Are you speaking? If you are, something happened with the sound and I'm not hearing you. No. Try muting and unmuting. No, one second. Welcome, everyone. We're talking about travel, wellness, medicine, redefining ourselves, allowing ourselves to transform through tears and cleansing and all the things. So, we're going to bring Naika back on. Just some technical hiccups. Hey, Naika. No, don't know what happened. Is there something with your mic, maybe? Yeah, so join in this conversation. Has there been a moment for you where you felt like, I don't recognize myself? I know I'm me, and I'm choosing to take a moment of pause and be present here, but things are so different. I can't quite figure it out. And the thing about Mondays is, ideally, if we work in a conventional setting, Monday through Friday, or Monday is just the top of your week, you want to have a sense of grounding. You want to have a sense of yourself so that you feel confident in moving forward. But it is absolutely okay to feel like it's not quite there or it's not quite there yet. So if you can relate to this or connect to this in any way, let us know in the comments. Let's see. Naika,
Yes, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, awesome.
So here we are, and on another Monday, what can we do to be more accepting of, of these new definitions that are coming up for us? You had this moment of reflection and coming to yourself. Um, what did you What did you find that worked for you? Um, what did you find that worked for you?
To accept or to allow things to come through.
Both.
Um, to allow things to come through, it's been like a journey because at first I would resist or alienate myself from what was coming or rationalize. That was a huge thing. Like trying to make sense of what I'm feeling instead of feeling. But over the years, I started to just feel, allow myself to feel, which was very excruciating. I'm going to say it's hard. Sometimes it's still hard, but I know I'm going to get through it because I've gone through it so many times. So it's like, it's okay. And so I think now I have body signals to let me know something's coming up. Something needs to be processed, something needs to be heard. And so at this point, I just wait. And then when it comes, I sit. I don't try to override it. I don't try to overthink it. I just sit and let it come up, out, and through. And and then yeah. And usually I just sit still after it comes through. I meditate or I say thank you often. Even if I don't like what I heard or felt, I say thank you. Because I know it's for my best good. Like I'm grateful it's not in me anymore, whatever that energy was, it needs to be expressed. And accepting, this is something I've come to maybe honestly a month and I'm still learning. This is I connect with, call what I call being with, like being present. If I can accept exactly like everything exactly as it is now, there's such calm and peace. I might even like it. Like earlier before I was coming on the show, my cats were going crazy in the other room, probably attacking each other. And I was just like, a little part of me was just like, why? Or like I thought we were over that behavior because to me like one of the cats can be very aggressive, and so I've tried to work with them to not all of that stuff, right? And I'm like, but it's happening and it's
Mm.
okay. And they also can deal with it themselves, but also on another level, what can I do based on what's happening now to rectify the situation? Like, do what I have to do so I can be here now with you. So I just put them outside. They're outdoor cats. So I just put one of them outside. Done. And then I calmed myself down and like, but I had to accept it first. Usually, or in the past, I would get upset, annoyed, flustered, angry, um, all that, rather than just accept what is happening and being with it so that the highest form of expression of the solution or the answer or whatever could just come through. So, yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Oh, it more than made sense. I'm putting this in the comment box for us to really take in because it was beautiful. Just listening. This is what I heard. Listening, paying attention to those body signals, accepting in the moment, not resisting what's already happening that seems or is chaotic, looking for a resolve so that you're not internalizing it and putting it on you, because essentially that is what we do. We put it on ourselves when it's not us. And I know that moms can relate to this when things are going haywire in their house with their kids, or anyone can relate to this with relationships that is not adding up, it's not making sense. I was thinking about that this morning. Um, you know, I have a regimen for how I wake up in the morning. And I'm going to get even more firm about it by turning my phone on do not disturb until a certain hour, because a part of that regimen is waking up and meditating, waking up and being in prayer and in stillness, turning on sounds, creating an environment of harmony for myself before I immerse myself into the world. Now, before we could do that in our homes and then go in traffic or walk to the train or the bus stop, now our world is in our laps. It's on our computers, it's on our phones, and as soon as I start responding to notifications, I'm taking myself out of my world and entering into a new one where I don't have control. Or maybe I'm maybe I'm not prepared. And then there's an email that I have to respond to that sends me off completely, you know? And that was not my intention. But because I did not honor my regimen, because I did not hold myself to being an early riser, which is what I know I need to do because of my level of work, it just requires me to prepare myself. Then I will see the results of that. I will, so um, I just wanted to share that for anyone who needed to hear. Sometimes we think it's us, and it's not us. It is what's going on in the external. But if we don't take the time to be with self first and to put that into practice, because practice makes progress. It doesn't always make perfect because things won't happen the same every time. But practice makes progress, and progress eventually will get you into a state of this is so natural and second nature. I don't have to think about it. So I wanted to share that. And I realized this night going to Aruba. Aruba forced me to relax. I thought that I was relaxed. I thought that I was taking time and doing me, but now I realize I needed more. And we had a moment of, I'm going to share a photo with you too, of
Mhm.
me going to the beach. And the thing about being at the beach is that you don't get a great phone signal. And that's great. That's a great problem to have. I didn't need to be looking at my phone or taking calls. I needed to make myself more available to myself. So here I am on the beach, a secluded beach called Arashi. If you ever go to Aruba, it is a very fun place, a lot of water sports. People are out there on the beach early morning if you're into that. And it was a little bit too much for me, so I found Arashi. Arashi's quiet. It's a great place to go for the sunrise. If you like walking on the beach, walking in the water, going for a run. I spent time doing gyrokinesis, um, meditation here. And then I took this moment to share with myself and now sharing with you a moment of love, just affirmation of love that I was happy here and I was at peace. And this is important. This is so, so important. And everything else, um, it can't always wait, but it should wait. And I should find a way to prioritize me so that waiting, making the world wait, won't be an issue. Yeah.
I love that you ended up finding a place that was just right for you. Because I remember you telling me how it just felt too touristy. And look, it found you. You found it.
Yay! Yes, yes, yes. So I highly recommend wellness travel for anyone. If you feel like I need to get away, get away. That could mean 20 minutes away. That could mean an hour away. Maybe you stay a whole day away, but take your time. And if you choose to do something quite extensive, welcome everyone. We've got quite a bit of views going on here. So type in your request for affirmations. We're going to do what we do best on a Monday, which is speak out our affirmations. I'm just sharing a moment here of travel wellness. I highly recommend this. And then the second story I want to share is about when all the lights went out. So the lights went out in Aruba over the weekend, and it was such a great reminder that things can go out of our control. But the best reminder of it all is that we need to rely on spirit, the earth, and each other. We need to rely on spirit, the earth, and each other. When the lights and the electricity went out, that means everything. Power plants for Wi Fi, no internet, no lights, no anything, any of the comforts that we're used to was gone. All we had was each other, some candles, and quiet. And I was ashamed of myself. Not ashamed, I shouldn't say that. I was disappointed in myself as a practitioner that my imagination was dulled so much so that I was actually bored. I was actually bored for a couple of hours, and I realized that I needed to have more deposits in my spirit so that when these moments come, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to be with self in without any problem. And so it was beautiful because I finally relaxed. I took a rest. It Power was out for almost 12 hours.
Wow.
Only concern was that I did have to travel in the next day, and I was concerned that maybe my flight would be canceled. So that was a part of why my imagination was dull too. I was, in logistic thinking, but in general, it was such a good reminder that we need to rely on spirit, earth, and each other. So, yeah, yeah.
I really love that. And ourselves, like you're saying, that reservoir, and to remember who we are, connected to spirit, connected to each other, connected to the earth. Um, I hear your disappointment, but at the same time, I feel like it just happens. I mean, it could have happened to be a reminder for you. You got everything you need so that you're not bored, like to remember, Kayla, she's got everything and more. Like, I don't, yeah. And that's not for you, that's for all of us. You're right. We're so used to, what we call comforts. And when they're taken away, we're like, what do we do? That's the first thing, right? What do we do? Like, is that all we are? What we just doing? Like, like robots, like just doing, like have to look. And I do this too. I find myself looking at my phone as if I'm going to get something every 10 minutes or something. It's why? And so I'm trying to be more conscientious. Literally, now I'm putting my phone on airplane mode because it's like, okay, maybe every hour I can check if I got a missed call. So I'm tired of being engaged all the time to something, you know.
Mhm.
And I know not all of us can do that with our jobs and things like this, but I think the at least the point I'm making is we are so much more beyond what we call the comforts or the things that make our lives more convenient or our phones. You know, what would happen? I think a question for all of us to ask is what would happen if we lost electricity for 12 hours? Do we think we would melt and die of boredom? Or what is it that we have in ourselves or could develop so that we would be more than okay to go through that time by ourselves, but also with others?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, that, and it brought me back to the indigenous peoples. That is one of the things that I go in search of when I travel. Where are the locals? Where's the culture? Tell me about the history, and I want to learn about the indigenous peoples. It's important that we do not forget them, and we do not forget tradition, folklore, and stories because they are a part of us. And when we go in search of, and in search of, and in search of, and hey, Google is great. I love Pinterest. But all of these things is just information that we already have. It is inside of us. And um, it's different when you receive it by experience and encounter. Um, Exposure is great, this is great, but experience and encounter is like nothing you can ever. So I will share a story about the indigenous peoples that I discovered that kind of ties into this need for spirit, earth, and each other in the darkness. It takes me back to the first days. In the first days, it was nothing but discovery, creativity, cultivation, ideas, each other. And, before we had these conveniences and comforts that we now have, we had people asking questions and we had people coming up with solutions. So that's in us. And I wanted so badly, and I really should have. I'm an art collector to buy this mask. Well, actually, I have one mask, but it's not painted. But the masks that the indigenous peoples in Aruba make there, the color of the masks is not painted. It's from the fruit and the vegetables, the sap and the resin and the bark, which is also what essential oils are of plants. And what they do is they extract the juice for the color and they put it in the sappy bark from trees, which is sticky, and then they ball it up and then they heat it and they press it. And then when it presses, it melts out, kind of like taffy. And then they chew it. And then between two people, they chew, chew, chew
Wow.
like that. And then two people share on opposite ends and they pull the sticky sap out from each other to stretch it. And then from there, that's the original way. And then later on, there was iron machinery that came, which I also discovered from a documentary just yesterday that um, the reason why women were not allowed to do masonry is because they believed that metal and steel um, had alchemy and magic in it. And they probably were intimidated by, magical mysticism and powers that women had too. And they didn't want the two to combine, they wanted to control it. So, anyway, eventually they moved to iron press. And instead of the chewing and the pulling, they would use the press, the iron press. Then from there, they would lay it on top of the wood they carved out, and then they would take a stencil, a sharp tool, and then they would carve the paintings, carve the patterns um, atop the wood with the color on it, and then that's how you would get the finished work. It was astounding, and I was thinking, oh yeah, this is what people do in their spare time. But now, what do? We go back to this and back to this and back to this and back to this and back to this. So I'm going to challenge everyone who's listening and viewing, whether now or later. I want you to, and in the comment box, just think of one way or one thing that you can do in your spare time that has absolutely nothing to do with technology. What can you do? What would you like to do? What things would you like to explore that you've been curious about? Is it a skill that you would like to acquire? Is it something that you would, just go ahead and type that in the comment box. How you might find joy apart from your device, be it a tablet, be it phone, be it TV, be it your car, be it anything. Deprogramming. So while you all are thinking about that, this is one mask that I did buy. Naika, are you not a mask person?
It's beautiful.
Oh no, I asked because some people, I don't know, they're not mask people. I don't know. This is just a
Can you
beautiful.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can't
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
I am.
Oh, okay. Yay!
Can you hear
So
me?
yes, I can hear you. Maybe it's a little of a delay because I'm hearing you, but I'm getting
No,
your.
I said it's beautiful.
Oh,
It's
okay.
beautiful. Oh,
Yay!
okay, good. I said it's beautiful. I love how long, like the how years.
Yeah. And the nose. Yeah. So they have these. They have cutouts at Michael's. They have different things at the dollar store. They have sequins, there are paint, maybe you like to create some art with your kids or, give them something to do on the weekend or is,
I have a question.
yeah, hmm hmm, maybe, maybe it froze. I'm not sure. Okay, she's gonna come back. Yeah, so these are just some ideas. I also spent Sunday, Soul Sunday, doing some adult coloring. Um, the list goes on. We can and should connect to life, the breath of life. Before we even created devices, we had breath in our bones, we had breath in our bodies, we had breath in our lives, and we were doing things. So get back to that inherent sense of you, inherent sense of knowledge, inherent sense of wisdom, inherent sense of existence, and dare to deposit impossibilities into your spirit so that when moments of wonder come up, you know how to show up for yourself. You know how to be available to yourself without dependence on devices. Naika?
Yes, I'm sorry about
Okay.
that. I don't know what's been happening.
Oh, no, I think that there is a little bit of a delay. But for the sake of time, we're going to prepare to start wrapping up. But before we do, let's go into our affirmations for the week. And Naika usually leads us, but today I'm going to be leading us, and maybe we can do a ping pong, bounce off of each other. You're also absolutely welcome to chime in the comment box and type in your own affirmations. And know that a new Beachbody affirmation card deck is going up. So I don't want you to miss that. Note, you're the first to know, so that when they come out, both in print and electronically, you can get your copy. So we'll start with this very first one on the topic of faith, and then we'll just pour out. Naika, I will say an affirmation, and then I would love for you to share one as well. Okay. So just fall into your natural breath. Let your body be relaxed wherever you are, listening, watching, tuning in, connecting.
Because I might be delayed, so I may not be able to contribute.
Okay, you're right. You're right. All is well. I'm happy to have you here. And we're prepared to go into our first affirmation for today, Monday, as we prepare to close out the segment on faith. Whatever and wherever you are in your journey of faith, know that you have the power to bring these things into fruition. Know that you are not alone. Know that the higher power that you subscribe to is with you. And know that these things are working for your good, for your ultimate favor, for your highest enlightenment, embodiment, and experience. So go ahead and give yourself permission to receive, and go ahead and give your self permission to speak it. Here are the affirmations. I speak it, and it is so. I trust. I know. Let's repeat that one again. In faith. I speak it,
Speak it,
and it is so.
and it is so.
I trust. I know.
Trust.
As I enter into today and the new week,
Yes.
I will seek more ways to be available to myself. I will seek more ways to be available to spirit. I will seek more ways to be available in relationship with others. I speak harmony into my being. I speak harmony and harmonious environment. I speak a sense of flow. And even with the challenges, I continue to trust. And even with the challenges, I continue to trust. I know that in time, my faith will show itself, and I will be right there. because in fact I am right here. I allow the transformation to take place. I trust. I trust. All is well. All is well. Breathe these words in and breathe these words out. Breathe your own words in and your own words out as these things continue to resonate in your being, in your body, in your environment. As it is above, it is also below. As it is within, it is also surrounding. All things in harmony. Again, after today, with this moment of sharing, if anything else comes up for you, any other affirmations that you would like to speak, share, affirm, the comment box is available to you. Our wellness community on Facebook is available to you. Naika and I, as birthing companions and practitioners, our work is available to you. Be sure to connect with us on these platforms. Reach out. Once you do connect, right away introduce yourself, say hello, and continue to be a part of community because we aren't and are not created to be alone. We are meant to be together in community. So, in your time of being with yourself, allow allow the sharing to continue to be with you, and we look forward to connecting with you again here on this platform or in another space. Naika, I want to bid you farewell, but I think that we went we froze for a second. So I'm gonna take you off and bring you back. Um, yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. Please continue to treat, support, and invigorate your human body. Naika, bidding you farewell. I believe I can hear you even if I can't see you. Bidding you farewell. And see you next week on Motivation Monday, which is going to be the day after my birthday. So if you want to share any um, celebratory words or anything, please do. I'm coming up on a milestone birthday, actually. I just thought about it. I'm turning 30. And yeah, so let me see if I can bring Nike back on because I see her facial expressions. Um, but yeah, next Motivation Monday, I will have crossed over from a decade of woo learning experiences, by the way. So I'm excited for that. And if you have any words of wisdom, any celebratory shares, anything that you would like to do, I may do a giveaway. So if you're not already connected to us, make sure that you do and subscribe to the mailing list, because there will be giveaways for my birthday. So there's that. And I will see you next Monday